All right. It is. What is it today? Today's Wednesday? No, today's Thursday. I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore. Okay. So, Thursday. Thursday here on the Eternal Chronicle. Oh, what's going on with my slides? My slides have just been sitting on this one slide. Nothing's working. Nothing's working. Oi, 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 oi. How's everybody doing? It's Christian here from the Eternal Chronicles. Took a brief break yesterday. Had to handle some business, and back at it again today. I almost didn't do a show today, but I mustered up the wherewithal to bring all this to you guys. So hey, look at that! It's the Emperor who sits upon his golden throne. Very exciting. So how's everybody doing? Oh, I'm getting knocked out of the picture here. So, hey, you're going to bail at 10 job meeting. Yeah, I'm actually, this is actually going to be a quick episode. Sort of explain, things are going on externally in the universe that require my undivided attention at the moment. I'm just going to put that right up like that. And so I just thought I would take this brief episode today because it's not going to be a super long one. I do want to I'll do a little bit of painting. I do want to finish my Inquisitor model. I managed to finish 3 other Rogue Trader models in the meantime, because one of the great things about about painting Old Hammer, if you ever think about painting Old Hammer, one of the great things about it is that you feel very prolific. If you paint a lot of modern miniatures, sorry, I'm just cleaning up my desk as I talk here because I realize it's quite atrocious. When you get to painting, when you've painted a whole lot of new, sort of like modern models, Space Marines might be a bad example, just because they are just still giant power armor and they're pretty quick. But say like painting an Imperial Guard army, or painting an Eldar army, or painting miniatures for any game, right? Age of Sigmar stuff. There's a whole lot more detail on them. There's these days. They're in these really crazy poses that can make, like you find yourself trying to pose the model so you can paint their armpit that no one's going to see anyways, but you got to paint it because otherwise it's going to sit there unpainted, right? But painting these Rogue Trader models, man, they paint up fast. Yeah, like for sure. Think that's my first time. It's not my first time bailing on a live stream. If that's what we're referring to. I have canceled a few in the past, but I'm trying to be as consistent as possible. Sorry, my back is killing me these days. One of the reasons why I actually ended my stream early on Tuesday, or not ended my stream, but I sort of ended it abruptly on Tuesday. I was going to paint and actually finish the whole model, but my back was hurting so much I just had to get up and go for a walk, and it's hurting me again. So, and I'm trying to rehab it right now, and that's sitting in this chair for prolonged periods of time makes the rehabbing of the back harder. I actually need to be standing. So maybe I'll get one of those standing desks, or I'll get a desk with like a treadmill behind it so I can jog while I do this and try and jog and paint at the same time. But anyways, here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Inquisitor Kafka Dosadi. I'm going to switch over to the overhead here and continue to clean up my desk, even though it's a bit of a mess. And we'll just blop him down here. Have you tried a purple seat cushion? Does it have to be purple? I do need some. I have a lumbar cushion that came with the chair that I use a bit, but it's less. Doesn't matter where I'm sitting. It's more the pressure on my spine and my hip. That's the problem, and that just comes from decades of being obese. Right? It comes from being old and being out of shape for a while. So here we have him, and I'm looking at him, and then there's some things on him that I'm happy with, some things on him that I'm not super happy with. His spats, I think, need to be cleaned up. They look a little bit too dirty, so what I may do with the spats is go back over them and try and lighten them up a bit, or weather them down a bit. We'll see how I sort of feel about that. The jacket I was doing is kind of almost like a dirty denim. I actually think I want the coat to be leather. So now I'm thinking that I might use a really a color that I don't really use. I haven't used that much, which is this Reaper Master Series Rich Leather. It's a little bit different than sort of the Army Painter leather I use. And one thing I've found with this is it's thin. Like for a brown from Reaper, it's a fairly thin paint. It doesn't go on super smooth, so it may be better off highlighted over something else. So I'm still not sure how I'm going to do this. Like what I like the blue. Maybe I need to highlight the blue and see how I ultimately feel about it before I take any drastic steps. And then the spats need to be fixed as well. And I thought I would show you what I worked on literally in the last 48 hours of painting while not streaming. So I painted my xenobiologist. So here he is. And I don't know what name to give him or what, but he's just in need of some varnish and maybe a little bit of spot touching up here and there, but I mean, he's a pretty dull model. Not dull, he's an interesting model, but I gave him red robes because I assume he's an Adeptus Mechanicus, because they'd be the only ones allowed to sort of do any sort of research or have any sort of sanction to study xenobiology, because xenos are, you know, heretical. I also painted 2 mercenary guys. So these are just basic, classic old Rogue Trader models. So here's this one. This one is actually really old because he is one of the first, he's part of that first batch of Rogue Trader models that came out in 1987, which predated the actual release of the Rogue Trader rulebook by quite some time. So there he is, and I'm quite happy with the way he's sort of turned out. Simple, really simple paint jobs on these guys. I'm not doing a huge amount of highlighting and blending, a little bit of dry brushing, a little bit of washes and stuff. Yeah, so we'll put him back down there. Hopefully you can see that better. I'll do something on his backpack, we'll see. And then I painted one more. And this guy still needs to have a few details on him finished up. But this is another fairly early model, I believe, if I have the web page open still. No, he is not in that first batch. He's in the first batch, and he's in the first batch. I've got the Space Goblin that's in the first batch. This guy is listed as a Imperial Garrison Trooper, and this guy is listed as a telepath. However, in the 1988 release of them, he is listed as an astropath. I don't think he's either. His base tab says tech, and I do believe that at one point he was referenced as an Adeptus Mechanicus guy. I just like the idea of him being a xenobiologist. It fits with my Inquisitor being Order Xenos, and he would have a guy who would, you know, be able to dissect whatever, you know, give him intel on whatever alien race he might encounter, sort of thing. The other model that I have that came out is this guy who's an Imperial Heavy Trooper, and I've got a bunch of guys that are kind of like similarly armored, and I'm probably gonna paint them all similarly so that they're part of like the same mercenary company, because I like that idea of like there being these like independent contractors out there, you know, so they get hired on for mercenary duty to protect whatever, and then they may work for the Inquisitor, they may work against the Inquisitor, depending on who's paying them the throne guild, right? So that's just interesting to me, just having all these Inquisitor Rogue Trader models to paint up. As you can see, I've primed them, which is, I'm glad that we had, you can see there's a little bit of metal there, that's fine. We had decent weather here in Toronto after it snowing on Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday wound up being fairly decent days, so I was able to get out and get these guys primed. Another couple models I can't wait to paint my Navigator, because I just think he's just a neat little guy. He's just neat. I just think he's neat. So I'm going to read the chat here for a second. as I adjust my lumbar support again, um, purple mattress people. Okay, I'll look into that. Yeah, I have. It can also happen if you try to lift 600-pound stumps and you're not 25 anymore. Yeah, well, this is. I mean, my back's problems come from years of bad lifting. You know how they always tell you when you're a kid, lift with your legs, but lift with your legs, not your back. Well, I never listened to that. Right? I always listened with my back, and now my lower back is messed up. So I'm rehabbing it. With a friend who's trying to help me. Did some stretches and some walking today. The other day I went jogging, and I think that may have been a mistake. I just wanted to see if I could jog. Honestly, it was like, can I actually run around the block? Can I make it all the way around the block? And I did. But I think at the end of it, I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that just yet. Maybe I should lose a little bit more weight before I start putting that sort of pressure on my knees. But anyways, let's paint, because that's probably why people are watching, not to hear me complain about my physical inadequacies or whatever. So I like his bolter. I've got some bolt gun metal here, so let's put some metal on the bolter. It's all that lead you were toting around. It's true. I do have a lot of lead, and it's funny because I have some miniature cases that are filled with plastic models, and some miniature cases that are filled with lead or metal models, and it's amazing, like how much different the weight is just like lugging that around. Let's get some paint onto this guy's bolter here. So, well, for those of you down south of the border from us up here in Canada, I guess your election happened, and you guys still don't know who's going to win. It looks like one guy's won, but then, the other guy's challenging everything, and I don't even want to say their names, because I got nothing to... I think it's really unfortunate that after 4 years, the best that they could come up with to put up against Trump is this other guy, who just seems like more of a corporatist and more of a... I don't know, man. I don't want to talk about politics. Let's not talk about politics. Let's talk about painting my Inquisitor's necklace here. And maybe the outside of his sunglasses. We'll get the rim of his sunglasses in here. While we're here. Rome is burning. Well, we'll see. We'll see how much of it burns. I think that it's gonna get... It's probably gonna get worse before it gets better. I think that I don't know, man. I don't even want to speculate, because then you almost feel like you're putting it out there that it might come true. But I know a lot of people, if you'd said a year ago, hey, do you think there'll be that there'll be a civil war, people would have called you crazy. Now, not so much, right? I don't know. What am I going to do with this shotgun thing? It's going to be like a Xeno weapon, so I think I'm going to paint... You know what I'm going to do? You know what might look really cool? No, that probably won't look really cool. It's because of those damn spats. I'm not happy with the spats over his feet. I might repaint over that. I have a lighter gray that I think might work better than this that I've used. Let's see. I don't even pay attention to it. It will suck no matter what happens. What would you rather have? A great unclean one sit on you, or a keeper of secrets do its thing? Well, I guess that's a decent enough analogy as any. Yeah, I think, at the end of the day, something that I said on Wednesday morning to someone. I said, well, we woke up this morning and the planet's still spinning. So we all gotta, go about our day and do our thing. A lot of it seems like you let yourself get distracted by these things that are ultimately probably not as critical to your existence as you may think they are. There's a lot of people out there who think that this is probably really important, but I don't know. I don't think there's much difference policy-wise between your two parties down there. They may pay lip service to different ideas, but at the end of the day, the same agenda seems to get fulfilled. Wow, those are really bright spats now. That's like a cold gray, I think is what it's called. So, can I find it? Can I find the paint that I was using? Maybe. Is this it? Arctic gray. Reaper. It's like a very... You can kind of see there. It's a nice light gray. But I'm still not happy with it. I might actually put a contrast of some kind over top of those spats. I don't know. I'm not happy with the light. Not everyone can ignore it. Well, you're right. Not everyone can ignore it. It's and I think that's what they want. They want you to not ignore it, right? They want you to pay attention to that while you're not paying attention to anything else that's going on out in the world. Sorry, I'm just going to try and figure out how high this collar goes. There we go. I think that the best way to sort of combat cynicism about like federal politics, national politics, would be to get involved more in local politics, because that's where you're actually going to impact change a lot more, is at the municipal level, right? You're not going to be able to, set your tax rates, and I'm not sure how the states works, but not that I would ever advocate ever getting into politics. I can't think of a worse profession to, considering how much you probably have to compromise yourself, right? So, not true. This shit impacts people. Okay, I'm not saying it doesn't impact people. What I'm saying is that to, if observing and paying attention to things at the federal level drive you insane and depress you and worry you and give you sort of existential crises, then I think that the antidote to that, the cure for that, is getting involved in politics at the local level, right? So becoming more politically active in your community and seeing how that could potentially affect some change, as opposed to just worrying constantly about, what the federal government's going to do, or what they're going to do at a level that you really probably don't have a great deal of control over or impact on, right? Federal policy is really decided upon in boardrooms, right? Federal policy is determined by lobbyists who work for massive multinational corporations that we've never even we don't even know their names, and they may not even necessarily be like ownership of them becomes hard to determine as well. Okay, I gotta do something about these spats. So I don't know. This politics was one of the things that I sort of forbidden myself from discussing on this channel. I was like, let's not get into it. But at the same time, it's the age in which we live in, so it's hard to ignore. God, what do I want to do with these spats? You know what I might try? Let's try something like this. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that they've done a really good job. And when I say they, and people always go, well, who do you mean by they? I don't know. Who are they, right? Who are the theys? Anyways, I'm going to try some of this. This is Apothecary White Contrast. I'm going to put it over his spats and see if that makes me feel better about them. Not so much. I almost just want to do them black. Or like leather. I don't know. But, and especially, I mean, nowadays politics is so dividing and so, like, they've made it such a, I don't want to say life or death, but it feels like life or death, right? Like, it feels like these things are really, really critical. And I think a lot of that may just be sort of a loss of memory, like not remembering that we've probably gone through all this before in terms of political divides. I think that a lot of people that are really sort of up in arms about this right now, like do you forget the first, like a lot of people don't match the hat. Well, that's what I did have before, was the hat matched. I think I'm gonna go with this, and I may do another layer of contrast over top of this. We'll see how that cures. I want to see how that dries out first before I commit to something else. Then I'm trying to see, like, his necklace here. Anyways, let's get off the politics. Let's talk about Rogue Trader. I'm sure we're all being inundated with it now. And I've been trying to avoid actually watching news, even, and not really looking too deep into what's going on, because it all seems like it's honestly, it feels like it's predestined. Like, this is the way that we all knew it was going to go. Like, we all knew Tuesday night was not going to resolve anything. Tuesday night was just going to be the next phase of the conflict, right? At least that's the way I felt. I you know, like, we had all sort of been told that, hey, don't expect winners and losers on Tuesday night to be announced. Says he's not going to talk about politics, then continues to talk about politics. All right. Well, I'm gonna talk about painting this guy's little arrow here gold. Because I like this. I don't know what this little badge is supposed to be. Maybe that's his inquisitorial badge. But I'm gonna paint it gold. There we go. I'm gonna put a little bit of gold on his bolter too, just because that tends to be exciting. Some there. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Alright, let's figure out this coat. So I can go with the regular ashen gray I was using. What is it? Ashen gray. Yeah, I'm not going to do his whole bolter gold. I have an orc with a golden gun. He's the orc with the golden gun. It's literally his name. The orc with the golden gun. Man, so I've got all these Rogue Trader guys to paint. And I'm pretty excited. Like, this guy, I'm really looking forward to painting, because I'm not sure how I want to paint him. But he's just such a cool, unique little sci-fi dude. And then I've got like a bunch of these guys, which are like the Hunchback Brigade. There's like 3 of them that are all sort of based on the same general model. They've all got the same biker jacket on, so these guys are probably from like the same crew, right? So one's got an M16 and the other 2 have bolters. So okay, well those spats are getting a little bit better now. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna grab a little tiny bit of strong tone, some wash. What I'm gonna need right about now, and some dark tone to mix up. So over the bolter, over that gold on there. So I'm just adding a bit more shadow to some places before I go in and highlight them. All right. Oof. Looking at just look over and just saw one of my daughter's brushes, and I realized, oh yeah, that brush is done. All right. What are we doing here? This. So let's see here if we can't make this look the way I would like it to look. Again, so I'm going for a dirty denim, so I'm sort of trying to keep my highlights a little almost jagged so that it kind of takes on a look of a fabric. There we go. The man with the golden shotgun. What if I should say something? Just sitting here, quietly contemplating and painting. See, this would be great to, like, if I had some music I could listen to on stream. Maybe I'll have to see and look into some of those royalty-free music options out there. Be-doon, de-doon, 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 doon. It's the sound of me painting. The soundtrack. De-doon, de-doon. There we go. So how about that Mandalorian? I watched the first episode of season 2 with my kid the other day. She thinks Baby Yoda's pretty cool. Certainly does seem to be the only thing that's getting Star Wars. I was about to say Star Trek. Star Wars right these days. Oh, he shark skin spats. Whoops. All right, let's highlight that a bit. You know what? I'll zoom in a bit here. Might make it. So I'm going to add a tiny bit of this linen white to that ashen gray for his jacket. So we'll start trying to highlight that up a bit. There we go. Yeah, this is looking all right. Sure is something to be said about painting these really old style sculpts. One thing that's cool is that, you know, there's still people out there producing models sculpted this in this style, the old, you know, sculpted by hand, some green stuff. It seems like it's probably, I mean, it's just going to be, it's going to become a real niche within the niche, right? I think a lot of people, I mean, there's so much that's just done digitally these days in terms of the sculpting, and I guess it's technically more precise and whatnot, but man, that's it's nice to have something that you know that someone sat down with, you know, some sculpting tools and some green stuff and or milliput or whatever these the masters or the originals for these were sculpted in. There we go. So let's see what we got going on in the chat. It's a nice little western. That's because it has fans making it with talent, not corporate shills trying to make money. Yeah, well, I mean, I think that the corporate shills are definitely still there. Someone's got to be making money. As a Disney shareholder, I would like them to make money. But at the same time, they sure managed to botch it up. You would think an intellectual property like Star Wars, and what they paid $4.1 billion for it, like that 0.1. It's like, yeah, 4 billion? No, 4.1 billion. We'd like another, you know, $100 million out of you if possible, just for our trouble. Which I think Lucas donated most of, which is kind of cool. Or insured, you know, but I think that, you know, just buying Star Wars, because when they bought Lucasfilm, I think did they get Indiana Jones as well? I feel like they did, and I'm sure we're gonna get that at some point. And they got whatever else Lucasfilm owns. I know they're talking about doing a Willow, either a new Willow movie or a Willow TV series. I never really dug that movie too much. I don't know why. You would think it would be something right up my alley, but I wasn't taken in by Willow. But your video has you in it, cuts out from time to time and then blinks back. Yeah, that's my my crappy webcam, which is not actually a webcam. It's an old iPhone 6 that I'm using. I have to just buy. I just have to bite the bullet and buy an actual webcam, and then that problem should go away, because I'm using an app that then is like jury rigged through something on my computer. I don't know what I was trying to say, but anyways, it's not a real webcam, it's an iPhone, so I will replace it. But yeah, no, I'm aware of that issue, and that's been an issue since day one, and there's nothing I've been able to do that seems to be able to fix it, and it doesn't seem to be an issue that they are aware of. So it's probably just isolated to me and however I have it set up. Because yeah, it loses its connectivity. It was even worse when it was connecting through Wi-Fi, but then I figured out how to get it to hardwire in. So how's that? That definitely looks kind of like denim in many ways. I think we'll stick with that a little bit. Keep working on that for a bit because there's a bit more. So yeah, it's it will be fixed. You know, when I buy a real webcam. Oops. All right. That jacket looks good. So, let's get out some of this gray. And so is it a Dooku lightsaber or a shotgun? I guess it's a shotgun. I don't know. You know what I'm gonna do? Maybe I'll do it on tomorrow's show. Once I have this guy painted and a few more of these guys painted, I'll go through the Rogue Trader book. Oh, can I reach for it? Yeah. Oh, it's here with my brand new 9th edition Space Marine Codex and rulebook. Who would want to play a new version of Warhammer 40,000 when you can play this version of Warhammer 40,000? What I'll do is I'll go through here and we'll pull up the things and I'll stat these guys out. I'll print out some of the character sheets that are in the back here. I think, yeah, mine is missing the that section. All the blue parts in this book have been removed. But I have digital copies so I can print out some of the character record sheets and stuff and do them on official thing. I don't know. I guess, like, you know what I could do with that gun? What if I just paint the barrel metal? And then maybe down here, do all this. And then you know what, I'm going to do this part. Black? Be kind of dull, wouldn't it? Maybe just black. Yeah, he's got too much black, white, and gray on him already. I need something. Could go green and make it look like a military green. Hazard stripes for the casing. Yeah, I don't. No. I was just gonna do it like black, but he's already got so much. Like, I kind of want something that'll stand out a bit. I was even thinking about like yellow. You know what I've got? This may look horrible. What if I go like this? This is this is like brown. It was red. If I don't like this, it's easy enough to paint over. That's kind of cool. It needs a wash of something to darken it up a bit. But sorry, it's just still a little bit in here. There we go. All right, let's get out that dirty gray again. So I think after I paint some of this Rogue Trader stuff, I may end up painting a Space Marine. Oh, I might. So you guys probably may not have seen my Mantis Warriors, but they are sort of a quasi samurai themed Space Marine chapter that I've been working on. And I got these Outrider bikes for them, which I want to paint up. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to paint them. They're going to be completely different than the rest of them. I'm going to start, they're black, and I'm going to highlight them up to red. So they're going to be like black, red, and white. And I'm kind of taking some influence from like Japanese street bike gangs from the 60s, 70s, and 80s as sort of my inspiration for, like, I want to put lots of banners on them and kind of do some cool like graffiti kind of style like devotionals and things like that. So like this guy may end up with a few more banners coming out the back here, so that he's all like these are called sasamonos, I believe is what they're known as. Here, I'll show you my other guy here. And these are Puppets Wars pics. So puppetswar.eu is where I got the Sasamonas and the shoulder pads, and I can even show you the helmets. This is the prototype guy that I did. He won't be keeping this helmet. He's getting a different helmet, which is being sent over here, but I have a bunch of these like Primaris style helmets, and there you can see that's another bike for this, and I'm going to have about 6 of these bikes and then some other stuff. But that's real 40K, not ancient 40K. let's go with Sepia. Agric Shade. No, Seraphim Sepia. So. Yeah, so he's gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna put any Inquisition symbols on this model, because he's technically supposed to be in disguise at this point as the human advisor to my Blood Axe Orc army. But I might give him like I might paint on like a little cat badge or something onto his cat. You almost need to like sculpt that on, but I don't want to sully the miniature with my pathetic ability to sculpt. That would look kind of cool. Let's pull that around so that those blend better. There we go. So when that dries, it should actually look a little bit more brown than normal. I've got to get some wash on here. All right. There we go, and then just down in here some wash. There we are. I want to get some. Needs to be a little bit darker in there. There we go. All right. So let's let that cure, and we can look at these guys. So this is my little xenobiologist. Cute little model. I need to do something about those hoses. Go. He's got like those. Oh, what are those shoes called? With like the split toes. Tanto, or anyways, I can't remember what they're called. But all right, and then let's take a look at this guy. So, ooh. He's got that like 1,000-yard stare there. I did his eyes, but then realized that I made his eyes. His pupils are there. I painted pupils on him. You can kind of see. He's got the 1,000-yard stare. It's a cute little model. Fix this, whatever I did here. There we go. Those bones. All right, and then this guy, who needs to have his shoulder pad finished. So I'm going to grab some of my rust red and a tiny little bit of mustard yellow. Gotta go, work meeting. All right, take it easy. I'm going to keep painting for a bit here. I have no idea What is all that? All right. Hmm. I'm gonna put some. All right, so now I am going to. This will be very exciting, but I'm going to throw down some varnish on these guys. So I will get. Where is it? Ah, this is Brush On Sealer, Reaper Master Series Brush On Sealer. It's not. It doesn't dry super flat. It dries with a bit of a satin finish to it. What I like about it is that it's not like a final varnish layer. You can put it on and then you can actually continue to paint over top of it, but it just sort of helps to lock down whatever is currently there. And it helps to sort of unify out your shine. Like this shoulder pad, because of where the wash is sort of pooled, it's quite glossy. You can see the reflection off it there. Putting this on it reduces that gloss and helps sort of solidify and unify everything on it, which means that I can then go back and look at it and figure out how best to highlight from there if I need to go back over anything, which I may not. We'll see how it all looks in the end here. There's a couple of little things here and there I can see that I'm going to need to do on this guy. And I gave him white hair because I thought he'd look kind of like a veteran. He's got that big scar running down his face. I almost made that one eye just all like cataracts, like with a cataract over it, because that's where the scar. I thought that might look cool, but then I just decided to just give him some pupils. We'll see. Over the top of the head here. Make sure we get that shoulder pad that I was talking about, because once everything is flattened out with this sealer, then I can take a second look at the model and figure out if there's anything else I want to do. Other than that, he's pretty much done. Like this guy was pretty easy to paint, and they all kind of are. It's actually really relaxing to paint these older models. I almost find that like painting newer models, it's less than relaxing. It can almost even stress me out a little bit, just because there tends to be so many little things here and there. And, you know, you're like, oh, okay, am I done? I'm like, oh, no, I got to go and paint this now. Or I got to go paint that now. I like that, like, I should, in theory, be able to paint one of these models in a single sitting here on stream. Put him over there, and we'll grab the next guy. Same thing. Throw some of this brush on sealer down. I used to do a lot more like mid paint sealing. So like I'd finish an area on a model and then I'd throw some brush on sealer over top of it. Again, that's with larger, more complicated models than these. These guys, I can pretty much block out all my colors and paint most of them and get them done to a point where I'm happy, without having to seal anything down yet. But once it's all painted, you want to throw the sealer on, because it will just help protect that paint job, and it will also give you a better idea of how everything looks, because you're going to end up with the same level of reflection on it, as opposed to having some areas being shiny and some areas being dull because of the different paints and mediums you used. So, okay, and one more. We've got the xenobiologist here. Let's throw a little bit more sealer down. And that's about 3 of... Ugh, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to count all these models now and see what my count is for the month. Ideally, I get all these done, and then maybe what I'll do is I'm gonna try and actually shoot some Rogue Trader game content on my little 3x3 table and whatever terrain I have. Try if I can, even if it's just solo play, just me sort of playing against myself. Do some pirates versus pirates action. All right. We'll take a look back at Inquisitor Dosati here. I like that shotgun now. I like that. It's a much... It probably needs another... You know what I'm going to do? Oh, no, not the Flesh Wash. I'm going to hit it with some Agrax Earthshade. That's going to make it really brown and flat. Might be good for it, might be bad for it. We'll see. All right. Spin this back around. So I've got some and a little bit of skeleton bone added to my leather. What are they? Oh, leather brown. So this is Army Painter Leather Brown with a little tiny bit of skeleton bone to blend up, and that's how I'll do the leather here. So that's his little canteen back there. I guess this would be like his little map case. This is where he keeps his s'mores. There we go. Let's see how it come up browner and flatter. Sure did. Let's hit it with the red I used on it is actually this, because it's the same red that I was using on the robes or the for my xenobiologist. This like really deep crimson red. I like it. It makes him look like he's a fine, upstanding member of the Mechanicum. This, on the other hand, see that okay? So I'm just kind of outlining the this part, and then that's fine. What we can do is something like that. Oh. A bit more yellow. How does that look? Looks a little rough here. think what I'll do is I'll actually do a little bit more highlighting, and then I will glaze it with something, because it needs something to sort of unify it, like a glaze over top of this, whatever it is I'm doing right now. Look. Woo. Definitely gonna need a glaze now. Let's see. Make sure that you guys can see what I'm doing. Yeah, it's definitely gonna need some sort of some kind of a glaze over top of it. Maybe we'll take this. Will no sepia. Guess I could try the. You know what? Let's see how that looks. Worst comes to worst, I'll just repaint the whole darn thing. So this is the black-red secret weapon wash. And I'm going to actually try and use this as a glaze over top of this and see if it does what I want it to do. It seems to be... It's going to flatten things out a bit and help tone that down a bit. There we go. Yeah, we'll let that cure and see how that looks after. All right. So it is 20 after 1, and I believe I'm going to get ready to call it a day here. Where am I at? Well, my Inquisitor is basically done. It's just his gun and or whatever this shotgun thing is, and I'm still not 100% on those spats, but I might weather his feet a bit so he looks like he's been walking. So that'll probably help with how these look too white or too clean. But I'll do that when I do his base, because it's just a quick like dry brushing with the desert stone, desert sand that I use for the bases. If you're wondering how the bases on these guys are going to look, they're going to look like the bases on my snotlings, kind of like that, with some debris on them, which will be painted and rusted and stuff. Here, I'll show you on the Commissar here. You can see how I've done the rust here, and that's actually a really simple couple of stage process over the primer. Put some Vallejo rust, dry rust, which is a game effect, and it dries very chalky, and then over top of that I just stipple with a little bit of like a volcanic orange. Ignore the mushroom for now, but just in terms of that, and then the rest of the base will just be like this sort of sandy badlands. And that's how all of my Rogue Trader bases are going to be, because they're all going to be on the same planet generally. So yeah, so let's just take a look and see how my Inquisitor's coming along. I'm just waiting for that to cure, and then I can go back and I can do that now. Grab a crappy brush. They're all crappy brushes here now. No, this one's pretty crappy. And just a little tiny bit of bolt gun metal on it, and then just ever so gently down the gun like that, just to help pick out a little bit, make it look a little bit more natural. There we go. And then that brush pin. And I'll get this one. And where's that gold? Where's that gold? Should be easy to find. There's that gold. So this is Retributor gold. And I'm going to take like just a dot of shining silver for the gold. And I'm going to do, this is just gold. And then I'm going to add a tiny, tiny little bit of that silver into it. And like so. Like so. This is like almost like a Star Trek symbol. It's a Star Trek communicator. And then we'll throw a little bit of wash down there to help add some definition to it. All right. I am going to take some of this bolt gun now. And I'm going to kind of, you know what? This little part here that's sticking up, I think I'm going to add some color to that. I don't know, what kind of a shotgun is this? This is some kind of space shotgun. It's a Xenos shotgun, right? Maybe it's for Xenos hunting. Maybe it shoots like special executor rounds. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll just leave it metal like that. Or do something to it. Some of that silver. Oh, yeah. Operation Badass is in full effect. There we go. And then just a little bit down here, down there. Cleaning up the lines so that everything looks sharp. There we go. Beauty. All right. So I'm going to do his gloves, and then I don't want to say he's done, because I'll always find something else to finish on him. But there we go, gloves. So that's pretty easy. So I'm just getting some of this black out. So it's just like a flat black. Then I'm mixing in a little bit of the ashen gray too, which will give me my highlight for my gloves here. Hopefully. Without being too dark, I need to add a bit more gray. Let's go here, like so, and then here. And like that. And then we'll get his knuckles, because never want to not paint the knuckles. Because that's where the fabric and would be sort of stretch the most and stress the most, so you'd get the most amount of bit of a reflection or whatever. Mm-hmm. Oop. Dropping paints. Yeah. And then the other glove. Should we get those fingertips, because you wanna make sure you're defining those out. Alright, and then the knuckles up here. Alright, well, I'm going to throw down some brush on sealer on him so that I can see what he looks like. Mostly flattened out. Here, I'll show you. You can see, right, the brush on sealer sort of dries with a bit of a satiny. It's not a super flat. Once they're based and they're all done, I'll spray them with like a dull coat, which will flatten down things even further. But I like to see them with the sealer on because I can paint over the sealer easily and just see sort of what else I want to do. If like I want to, like, do I want to take that green up one more level? Not really. I kind of like it. The knee pads totally remind me of Judge Dredd, and I didn't even realize until after I painted it that this green is like the perfect green for like Judge Dredd uniform, for like the green on him, and these knee pads are just like Judge Dredd knee pads. So it's a cool model. And normally I would not paint eyebrows on a miniature, but this miniature just happens to have such amazingly pronounced eyebrows that I had to paint them. So it had to be done. So yeah, so there's that one. And then there's our little Garrison guy here with his 1,000-yard stare. He looks like he's been in the shit. He's seen some things. So yeah, so that's him. And then my little xenobiologist techno guy. He's basically all done. Hey, you're back. How'd that go? And yeah, and then the myth, the man, the legend, Inquisitor Kafka Dosadi. Right here. Oh, I gotta fix his hat. I got a little bit of schmuzzy schmuzz on it. Let's fix that. Shouldn't be hard. I've got paint sitting right here I can fix it with. There we go. Take a tiny little bit of that white. There we go. And that blue on the jacket really did come out looking like denim. Sort of. If you squint. So I'm pretty happy with everything except the spats. I might just paint them black. I don't know. It's just I want, you know, and I like the shirt, this kind of this off-white. Like between the hat, the shirt, and the spats. I might just wash them. I might just contrast them with Black Templar. I don't know. I don't know what to do about them. Yeah, maybe I'll try weathering them first, and we'll see. So, but that's that. So that is 4 Rogue Trader models, more or less done. I mean, their bases aren't done yet, but I'll do basing at another point. The next model I want to paint. The next model I'm going to paint on stream. Sorry, just give me 1 second here. Yeah, the next model I'm going to paint on stream is probably going to be my robot, and I have to think about how I want to paint him. I'm thinking, I don't know, it'd be cool to do him in like grays and whites, but at the same time, there's so much gray and so much. There's a lot of gray in my Orc army. There's a lot of gray on the Inquisitor. I don't know. He might look really cool, like red. A big red robot is always welcome. So maybe I'll do that. So I don't know. Sound off in the comments or in the chat or whatever you want to see me paint this. Whatever color you think my robot should be. There's some really cool like paint patterns for them in the compendium, the big red supplement for 40K. The other big things I have to paint is I have an Amble that I'm really looking forward to painting, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do him. And then I've got this Ogre and Hero, so that's some big guys. So those are some big guys to paint for my Rogue Trader. And then I've got this, like, full. There you go. Full. Nope. There we go. So yeah, so this is a whole lot more of these random human adventurers and mercenaries and space pirates that will form the dramatis personae for my little narrative, fun little campaign that I want to do. So come back later this month, and by that I mean tomorrow. I'm gonna continue painting. I'm gonna continue to paint stuff off stream, just because I actually am a lot more efficient off stream when I'm not worried about painting in this little small patch here, because it can be challenging and it's a little bit more. But you know what? I get a fair bit done on stream, so I'm not complaining. I really like this model. I really like that. I'm pretty happy with how he came out. All these guys. I mean, I love these old Rogue Trader models, and that's kind of why I'm doing this. So, I don't know. Maybe the next model I'll paint will be the Space Punk. And we'll get him done, and maybe his weird friend here. Davy Crockett. Space Davy Crockett, whatever. I only say that because he's got like raccoon tails hanging off him. So. All right. So yeah. So that's we're gonna call it a day there. So thanks for coming and hanging out and watching. I'm Christian from the Eternal Chronicles. Thanking you very much for your time and patronage watching me muddle through some painting today. Another low energy day. It's been a low energy week, I'll tell you. Especially after yesterday. Having to expend so much emotional energy. I'm a little bit worn out. So yeah. So thanks. Oh, there he is. 60p. 60p. That's not what I paid for mine. I definitely did not pay 60p for this one. But yeah. So there we go. All right, guys. So I will see you all here tomorrow, same orc time, same orc channel on the flippity flop and all that